This might be the world's shortest live. I don't know if I'm going to get a live out or not. I've come on anyway because I said I was going to come on. But basically, I've got the plumber here. My mum can't have the dogs today. They're literally, my mate's turning up in about 2 minutes. They're literally just going to bark like absolute billio. So if they start and they do my head in, I'm just going to have to come off, basically, which is why I've had to cancel the live at 4 o'clock. There's no way I get a live, and I'm expecting a B&Q order. But I will be back tonight for an hour, 7:30 till 8:30. Anyway, we'll see how we get on. But yeah, if Betty starts barking, Blossom's dead chill. But Betty isn't dead chill. So yeah, if she starts barking, Blossom will start barking. I won't be able to shut them up. I'll shut them up when I'm in the, if I go in the house and they can see him, but I can't leave Betty in the house, because if he's in and out and Betty gets out, she ain't coming back. Well, she will come back, but I don't know when she'll come back. Anyway, that's my dilemma this morning. So I'm jumping on because I said I was going to come on. Hopefully, if they behave themselves and Blossom doesn't pipe up. I've left Betty. Betty's just in the bedroom. The back door's open, so she can go into the garden. But if she behaves herself, I'll be all right. I'll stay on. Will doesn't need me. He's doing his own thing. But yeah, it's just if the dog's a dick, so I'll have to jump off. But anyway, we'll see where we get to. That's my dilemma this morning. Anyway, are we all good? I've just got back from the gym, early gym session this morning. Routine is just out the window. And I've just done a bit of content on it because, you know, yesterday I said to Rachel, I said, I'm not going to go to the gym on Wednesday because, again, well, Will was meant to come yesterday. Anyway, he rung me up. He said, I'm not going to make it. I've had a couple of emergency call-outs, and he's doing me kind of mate rates, and he couldn't pass up the money for the emergency call-outs. I'm like, absolutely sound, mate. No worries at all. Yeah, I didn't go to the gym, and I was like, and I miss my gym. I love my gym sessions. So I didn't go because I thought it was coming. So I was waiting in all day for him to come. Told you, but he's just going to absolutely bark like crazy. Yeah, anyway, and then he was like, no, I'm going to come tomorrow. So again, dogs, can't leave him in the house when he's in the house, this and that. So, dead simple. Set the alarm. 6:15 this morning, off it popped, out the house with 20 to 7, at the gym just before 7, train for an hour, done for 8, come home, back, done. I think my gym session's done for the day now. I've got 4,000 steps in already. 3,240 steps in already. So they're ticked up because I just jumped on the cross trainer for 15 minutes. And it's and that's it. And sometimes we use a temporary change in routine to chuck our weight loss journey in the bin. And at the end of the day, you know, our routine shouldn't change that often. But every now and then it will do, and it just might be, I'm away with work, or like my house is upside down at the moment, and people in and out and trying to juggle different bits and pieces. And it's so easy to use it as an excuse to just go, I'm just dead busy at the moment. I'll just not track my calories. I'll just not, you know, plan my meals. I'll not go to the gym. I'll not get my steps in. It's not an excuse. It just isn't an excuse. If you're losing weight in the right way, like what I ask my clients to do doesn't take 6 hours a day to do. You haven't got that time, you know? Literally, once you get into the flow of tracking calories and planning, it takes a couple of minutes. It literally for the whole day, right? It doesn't, right? And if you've been tracking calories for more than 3 months and it takes you more than 5 minutes to track your entire day, you're doing it wrong, right? You really are. You're doing it wrong. Likewise, you know, getting 10,000 steps a day in. I'm not asking you to do 2-hour walks every day. I'm asking you to increase your everyday movement. So just little changes. You know, if you're someone that's lucky enough to be able to sit on the sofa for a couple of hours every afternoon, you're lucky enough to, you know, you've got the time there to go and get a bit of movement in. You know, if you're someone that constantly uses the car, you know, I just need to nip to the corner shop for a pint of milk. You're constantly jumping in your car, walk around. You know, if it's a 30-second drive or a 4 or 5 minute walk, 4 or 5 minute walk's the answer. You know, just little things like that. I always use the one of, you know, if you drive to your office, how far away can you park from your office? You know, if you drive to, you know, if you get the bus to work, can you get off a stop earlier? And it's, just, or 2 stops earlier and walk the rest of the way just to stretch your legs a little bit. Little things like that. Where do you park when you go to the supermarket? I don't even go to the supermarket, Neil. I get shopping delivered. No issues with people getting shopping delivered, but I have an issue with people getting shopping delivered when they're whinging that they're not getting the movement in. Betty, shut up! Honestly, she's going to do my head in. You might get half an hour out of me. She wants to come in here. She's not coming in here because she'll just bark in here. At least she's barking outside where it's. I know. And you come in and say hello. No. She's telling me Betty's barking for something. Yeah, she's just barking because the plumber's here. Anyway, let's do the top 5 this morning. Lou's in at number 1. Callum's in at number 2. Paula's in at number 3. Claire Wood's in at number 4. Kelly C is in at number 5. You are my top 5 this morning. Steph, good morning. And Lynn and Maddie and Peter P's in. Good morning. Mama Bear's in and Jackie's in. Time to Float's in. Good morning. Bridget's in. Good morning. Katie's in. Good morning. Yeah, I had the pesto prawns, 2 bags. You need 2 bags. They're not cheap, but they're bloody good. Spaghetti, broccoli, and cheese last night. One of my favorites. Absolutely delicious. Very, very nice indeed. You can't beat that Grana Padano cheese. Emma 21, good morning. Sheila H, good morning. Nelly New, good morning to you all. Let me scan up. What else is going on? Anything else? No. Tesco Park right at the back. Yeah, exactly. And like I say, what's going on here? I don't want flipping TikTok. Piss off. I'm just trying to do a live and talk to people. I don't need all your shit popping up. Having that cheese on broccoli again tonight is so good. And yeah, and honestly, people think and people go, well, it's just dead convenient getting my shopping delivered. It is. But convenience is one of the reasons why. Leaf blows on. Convenience is one of the reasons why we have a weight issue. So trust me, if you do 10, 11,000 steps a day on average consistently and you get your shopping delivered, no issues. Get it delivered. Absolutely fine. But don't do things that are convenient that lowers our everyday movement and then means that you can't get your movement in, right? Because what we have to accept is that there's so many things around in 2026 that wasn't around 20 years ago. And you've just got to ask yourself, what would I have done 20 years ago? Would I have let my kids starve? Would I have starved? Would I have done shopping? And you might be like, yeah, but it used to be a right ball ache before I could get. Yeah, life is a ball ache at times. More of a ball ache being fat and overweight and whinging about it all the time. That's the biggest ball ache, isn't it? Let's be honest. That's more of a ball ache than having to walk and carry a few shopping bags back or having to get a taxi there and back. It is. We have to accept that, life's hard. You've just got to choose your hard at times. Anna, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Maureen, good morning. Let me scan down. Is everything good? Everything is good. So that's where we're at this morning. Weight loss week, how's it going? It's going good. Weight loss week's going good. I'm looking forward to my weigh-in tomorrow. I know I've lost weight. I know I'm under my pre-Christmas weight. How do I know? Because everything's been absolutely on plan. I know what I'm doing today. Food today, I'm literally going to have either overnight oats, but I have no idea if Rachel's took them or not. I made overnight oats. Do you know what? I made my peanut butter and jelly or PB&J or peanut butter and jam, whatever you want to call it, overnight oats. And I made 2 portions of it. I filmed it. It'll be on YouTube later on. I did put kind of the recipe on my socials yesterday, but I'm actually, so you've got all the quantities and then you've got the link to track it in NutriCheck as well. So I've made I've done all that. That'll be out later on today. And do you know what? I actually ate it straight away, 1 portion. Yeah, I made these 2 portions, and I couldn't find my other Kilner jar that I like to put my overnight oats in, so I just put it in a flipping microwavable soup bowl from a bloody pound stretcher or something like that. And I was like, do you know what? I might just eat it now. You can do. You don't have to eat oats. Soak water up pretty quickly. And I used to put oats in shakes sometimes and stuff like that. So I just ate it, and it was lovely. It was really, really good. It was. Don't get me wrong. If you leave it overnight, it'll thicken up. The oats, the chia seeds will soak the liquid up, and it'll be. It'll feel probably a bit more, but it was really, really good. It was really, really good. So I've eaten 1 portion. Rachel last night was like, "Is that other one for me?" I went, "Yeah." She said, "How many calories is it?" I went, 399. She went, "Oh, I've got my protein shake as well." She's really trying to up her protein at the moment. So I was like, well, that's 35. I said, your protein shake's 122 calories. That's 399. So just have that. Have your protein shake for your breakfast. Have your oats for your lunch. You don't need to eat anything else. Maybe get a bit of fruit. So you're up to like 650. Tea 600. Cottage pie, loads of veggies, lean mince. So I said, tea's about 600. So that's how you at 1200. Rachel tries to stick to 1500 Monday to Friday, and then she gives herself 2250 Saturday, Sunday. I think it's a little bit tight, and I think it's a little bit restrictive. Rachel burns 2,400 calories a day. So she tries to put herself in a 600 calorie a day deficit. I think it's just 100 calories a day, a bit too much for the amount she moves, but we don't get involved. But you're a weight loss coach, Neil. Yes, but I'm a husband first, and you don't mix business and pleasure. So, and Rachel, to be fair to her, she's like over. I've shown that I didn't mean to. She's like over 6 stone down now. So, in a couple of years. So she's done really well. She's gone from a size 22 to a 15. She says I'm a 15. Some things she buys, she still needs a 16, but she's bought a few things recently that are 14. And she's like, I could lose a little bit more to be in a 14, but I'm all right. So she's done really well. Lost 5 stone, 13, and can't seem to get the last pound on. Whatever I do, it's getting me down. What, for £1? No, absolutely not having that calorie deficit, Amy. Change that mindset. There's no way £1's getting you down, right? Just ignore it. Right, you're happy, you're done. Your goals, I'll check. I'll put a smile on your face. Your goal wasn't 6 stone loss; it was 5 stone 13. There you go, done straight away. You've hit your goal weight. Enjoy, right? £1's getting you down. Bloody hell, right? Just weigh yourself at 5:13 and then go to the toilet and weigh yourself again. You'll be a pound down. Absolutely no chance are you losing 199 pounds and letting not 99. It might be 85, I think, if my maths is correct. And letting £1 mess with your head. No. I tell you what's messing with your head is you've always concentrated on weight loss, right? And you don't know what else to do. It's a very scary thought hitting your goal weight. And you're like, what do I do now? All I've thought about is weight loss for 10 years. And that's probably what's holding you back. But yeah, not having that. That's not having that at all. It really is. I'm too obsessed with numbers. Change it. There you are. Just change your goal weight. Your goal weight wasn't 6 stone. It was 5 stone 13. You hit it. Right, you hit it. Because what you're going to do, Amy, is you might get to that 6 stone loss, and then you go, actually, maybe I'd be better trying to lose 6.5. So you'll just chase numbers, and chasing numbers leads to disordered eating. So stop chasing numbers. Just be happy where you're at. Done amazing, right? Done amazing. Yeah, it's like going, do you know what? I want to save up £1,000. I've only got 999. It's just a mental block. It's like, just chuck a quid in. Right? If you can lose £84, you can lose 85. It's not like where people go, the last stone is always the hardest. There's a lot of reasons for that. Not a pound, not happening. Though I have had clients in the past be very, very similar. What you're doing is you're self-sabotaging because you don't want to hit your goal weight. Because once you hit your goal weight, I don't know what to do with myself because I don't really think about weight loss anymore. Yeah. So stop self-sabotaging. Honestly, that's all you're doing. Yeah. Maggie Matt, good morning. Caroline O'Toole, good morning. Does anyone else find it hard to maintain? Well, you don't worry. You smash it. So don't think you'll find it hard to maintain. You absolutely smash it. Remember, weight maintenance isn't about sticking at a set number. Not going to happen, right? You're going to go through periods where you lose a bit. You're then going to go through periods where you gain a bit. But you've been maintaining your weight brilliantly for 18 months, Maureen. So you don't find it hard at all. You find it, don't get wrong, you've still got to keep the things in place, right? But I'll tell you now, Maureen's one of my one-to-one clients, which is why I can say Maureen doesn't find it hard, right? And Maureen, when she came on plan with me, was 160 pounds, and she'd lost a lot of weight already. Then she came on plan with me, and we got Maureen down to like in the 10 stone bracket, which is where she wanted to be. And she has never, ever, ever been out of that. She got into the 10 stone bracket on the 15th of November, 2024. She's never been out of it. She's never been out of it for 14 months. right? And maintaining your weight is fluctuations. And the lowest Maureen's been is one, like nearly down towards 10 stone. And she has been up into the 150s, around that. But that's weight maintenance. You don't sit at a number. You're always going to have a little swing, right? And that's all it is. £10, £5 below. You know, I said to her when she come on, I said, if you can get anywhere around 147, which is 10.5 stone, that's perfect for you. And Maureen's been £5 or £6 below that. She's been £5 or £6 above that. That's weight maintenance, right? And yeah, it does take effort. It does take effort to make. You've still got to keep the things in place. The majority of things in place that allowed you to lose weight. It just means you can eat a little bit more, right? And you know, and that's it. That's it. But you'll still have periods of being in a calorie deficit. Maureen has. She still had periods of being in a calorie surplus because her weight's fluctuated a little bit more than standard fluctuations, what you'd be at 147 pounds. But that is weight maintenance. You know, if we think we get to a certain weight, like if your goal weight is, my goal weight is 140 pounds. I'm now at 140 pounds. If you think for the next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years of your life, you'll just sit at 140, you won't. It'll creep up a little bit. It'll go down a bit more than that. It will fluctuate. It will fluctuate through natural fluctuations, short term, food weight, water retention, messing with the scales. It'll also fluctuate because habits might slip slightly, or just going on holiday, Christmas, where you gain a little bit back. So you go into calorie deficit to lose it. You might end up in a situation where your appetite's on its arse for a couple of weeks, like really low, just because you might be grieving, or you might, and then you lose a little bit more, or you just might get a really big fitness bug, and you're like, do you know what? I've got a really big fitness bug at the moment. I'm not saying it's the right way to lose weight, but I'm gonna, I'm gonna try and lose a little bit more, and really, what you're going to do is probably going to be a little bit unsustainable. So you might get down to like 130 pounds. Right, but it's just not going to be maintainable. So then the weight will creep back on a little bit, Grieving did it with me, yeah, but nothing major, Maureen. Really, if we look at what your pre-Christmas weight was, I think you've just used that as an excuse, and I don't mean it's a bad excuse. I know you were grieving, and I know you were, but if we look at your weight from Christmas, it's been fairly steady, and you will have gained a little bit back from Christmas, more than anything. So, and I know you've had a tough couple of weeks, but I think you've focused on that really, rather than going, do you know what? I've just gained a little bit from Christmas and I've not been able to quite go into a calorie deficit to lose it because of circumstances. But we're coming out the other side now, and you're still, Maureen's 145 pounds. She's not even 10.5 stone. So she's still in a really healthy way. Really healthy way, and you've done amazing, Maureen. You have, Morning, mate. Just over 3 kilos down since the 29th of December. Buzzy, well done, Mark. That's a nice half a stone. Very, very nice indeed. Mr. Stockton, good morning. Nick's in, good morning. Anyone else in? No, so it's been a good week. Routine's a bit out the window, so getting my steps in has been a little bit all over the place, getting my gym sessions in. And I don't mean you need to gym for weight loss, but it is part of my journey. It's been a big part of my journey. It's something that keeps my mental health. What do you want? Betty, you want to come in here? Right, you can come in, but then you'll just want to go out again. Just let me let the dog in. Hang on. Oh, God, my seat's on the bloody floor. Right, you're coming in or not? Blossom, come on. If you're coming in, come in. Come on. Honestly, has anyone else got a Lars Rapso? She is an absolute arsehole. She really is at times. They're so stubborn. They are so stubborn. Do you know what? Why not my seatbelt? They are so stubborn. Right, that's gone up. Honestly, and they just, she knows exactly what I'm saying to her. When she wants to do it, she'll do it. When she don't want to do it, she'll want to do it. So I just can't believe she is. Yes, Neil, our Ernie was exactly the same. So she's rattling to come in here, but then because I've opened the door and I'm asking her to come in, she won't come in. Now, if I left the door open just for 30 seconds, she'd come in because I'll come in when I want to come in. Right? Anyway, you can stay outside. I'm not bothered. I've not walked for months. I'm going to try a small one today. Yes, Claire, absolutely. Yeah, just slowly catch your monkey. I'll be finishing your plan off today. Got 6 of you lovely people started on Monday. Remember, if you want to come on plan and you want to save yourself a few quid, half price sign up at the moment, 15 quid sign up fee, and then you're getting 4 months of coaching for the price of 3. It's one of the best deals I do. It ends on Wednesday. So start on Monday, that's past now. All right. So you will start a week on Monday, which is the 9th of February. If you sign up now. And if you do sign up now, you get instant access to the community and you'll be able to message me whenever you want to, but we'll get you started. As soon as you sign up, the sooner you'll get started. We've got 6 of you booked in to start on Monday. I will have all your plans over, fingers crossed, at some time today. When? I don't know. Just bear with me. But I will have everyone that started on Monday, as long as you sent your consultation form in, I'll have your plan over today. In fact, I've written all plans. I just need to sort Claire's out, and I'm waiting for 1 consultation form to come in. So 4 are written. Claire's just needs finishing off, and I'll have them all over today. So TikTok profile, Facebook page, YouTube page, Instagram. Click on my link tree. Go down to shop. Click on one-to-one monthly one-to-one plan. Use code New Year New Me. 15 quid to get on board. And then you'll pay $29.99 February, $29.99 March, $29.99 April. And as long as you hit your check-in, so you don't go missing in action, I don't say you don't need to lose tons of weight or anything like that. I just want you to complete your first 6 check-ins. So if you come on board and you do your first 2 check-ins and then I don't hear from you for a month and then you come back on board, you don't get your free month. All right. Your free month is if you complete 6 check-ins on time. I'll give you a month free. So you get May totally free of charge. And then if you want to carry on working with me after May, your $29.99 monthly sub will just start back up. I'll just pause it for 1 month and your monthly sub will start back up. And you can work with me for as long as you want to, but it's a rolling contract. You can cancel whenever you want. Yeah. I should have said I start Monday. Wednesday is my chemo day, if that affects my plan at all. It doesn't, Claire, to be honest with you, because like you said, you've come on board. And I know you said you don't really want to lose weight. You just want some accountability and you just want to keep your eye on things. So, you know, it's at the end of the day, I'm going to write your plan up as if I was writing a plan up for someone that's not going through what you're going through, right? And then we'll just work with it the best we can. And really, why you've come on plan at the moment, and the only reason I'm happy to work with you on plan with what's going on is don't want any pressure from you for weight loss, because the main thing you should be doing at the moment is getting better. But obviously, the fitter and healthier you are, that is certainly going to help you get better. So, you know, but I'm not going to change anything massive. Obviously, you're not moving much. So we're not going to give you loads of steps. You're not going to be in a massive calorie deficit anyway. It's just more for accountability and support, you know, because, you know, you're a little bit up and down with your eating and this, that, and the other. Does that kind of make sense? Can't wait for tomorrow's weigh-in and measurements. I've noticed my uniform is much looser. We like that. We like that. Clothes are a great way to... And do you know what? If your body doesn't lie, in a way, right? Your brain can. So sometimes we can put something on and we're like, oh, this is really tight, right? And it isn't, right? It's just in your head. But genuinely, when we feel our clothes are looser, they are. And that doesn't mean the scales are going to say what you want them to say. It's just your body shape is changing a little bit. Your body composition is changing a little bit. And that is all part of the journey. It's all part of the journey. I love clothes for tracking progress. I really, really do. I ended up selling in 2023 on Vinted a lot of clothes that I was just like, oh, they're never going to fit me anymore. I'll get rid of them. They'd fit me now, right? And it doesn't matter. I needed to have a clear out anyway. They fit me now. But there are certain items that I kept hold of that I loved. And I was like, one day I will be able to wear those again. And that's happened now. Like everything that's in my wardrobe fits me perfectly. And in fact, I've bought for the last couple of years Well, I'm a bit ashamed to say this. I've never bought any new football shirts from 2023 really up until sort of 2024 because 2XL was too small in a football shirt, and they can be quite clingy anyway. But 3XL was slightly too big, so they just fit me weird, right? So I didn't buy any. And then last year, I lost. Not last year, 2024. I started to lose a little bit, and I was wearing 2XL. A little bit snug in a footy shirt, but I was all right. Anyway, I ordered a new shirt that's on sale, a 2XL, and I've got to send it back because it's too big for me. And it's little things like that. So I've gone from into an XL footy shirt, and I've not worn an XL footy shirt. I've got a couple in my wardrobe from like 2021, COVID, actually probably before COVID. So little things like that, just and it's not all about those. I really struggle to see myself thinner and fitting everything in my wardrobe. Caroline, you've got a really I think one thing we've got to massively work on is, and we did talk quite openly and honestly about it in yesterday's Everything Weight Loss session, is your whole confidence thing. And to build your confidence up, we need to start getting some consistent results. But I genuinely believe to get some consistent results, we've got to make some quite big changes in lifestyle. I think we have, if you want them, and it's something you're probably gonna have to, and it's not about cutting everything out. Like, we probably just need a clear run. And I'm a big believer in, if you sacrifice life for weight loss, you're going to be miserable. If you sacrifice weight loss for life, you're going to be miserable. You need to build weight loss into your life, but there has to be some compromise. And sometimes we need a clear 3 or 4 months. And some people are like, what? Just to kind of, I kind of understand where people are like, I'm going to eat 1,000 calories a day to kickstart my weight loss. Right? It's stupid to do that. Or I get some people going, I'm going to go on MJ for 2 months to kickstart my weight loss. And what they're basically saying there is, I want to see some results to build my confidence up. Right? So people know that I know it's not healthy. I know it's not sustainable, but I just need something to hold on to. So now the worst thing about that is you're creating bad habits, because when you eat 1,000 calories a day, you're going to see some quite big losses. And then when you go on to healthy amounts of calories, those losses are going to really slow down, and you're going to gain some weight because you're increasing your calories. And then people will then flip, oh God, no, I'm better off doing 1,000 calories. And it's like, no, you're not. It's unsustainable. But if you've got a healthy, sustainable plan like mine, you don't shed tons and tons of weight dead quick. Most people can lose a stone in a month, 14 pounds. And with a bit of a whoosh at the start, that could be 20 pounds. It's quite common that I get clients of all different shapes and sizes that'll be 20 pounds down within 3 months. But they've given it those 3 months. They've been consistent. They have possibly, you might say, for them, made some sacrifices. In reality, it's just compromises. But when you get to being 20 pounds down, you're putting in what I call maybe a little bit of a buffer. So if you do end up with a weekend away and you gain 5 or 6, you're still 14 pounds down, right? If you end up, and that was my thing, when I didn't weigh myself for the first 10 months of my weight loss journey, right? It was October 2014 when I first weighed myself. I would have weighed myself, but I didn't have scales. I didn't have a set of scales that would weigh me. There wasn't really at the time in 2014, like, where you could go on Amazon and order some parcels that will weigh up to 300 kilos, right? There was bathroom scales that weighed 28 stone. I was 10 stone heavier than that when I started. Even the scales in my local doctors, they went up to 200 kg. Now, 200 kg is like over 4, that's like 300, that's like 30 stone, right? I was, 37 stone. So I was 234 kg. So I actually couldn't weigh myself. How I got my start weight was when I went to a farm and weighed on some cow scales. Right? That's how I got my start weight. But I wasn't going to go back there every 2 weeks just to weigh myself. Right? It was embarrassing enough doing it the first time. So I didn't weigh myself for 10 months. And it actually, And don't get me wrong, I was consistent and I was on it, maybe a little bit too consistent, maybe a little bit too on it. You can be, you know. I think I did over restrict myself a little bit. But when I first weighed myself in October 2014, I was 100 pounds down. I'd lost 100 pounds. I had, you know, I had no idea what I'd lost. I know I'd lost because I'd gone from a 6XL to a 4XL and possibly a 3XL, maybe. I don't know. No, probably a 4XL. I was a lot fitter, a lot healthier, felt a lot better in myself. Clothes were smaller. I could do a lot more. So I knew I'd lost weight, and I knew just from what people were saying and this, that, and the other. But I had no idea how much. And I got on the scales, and I was 100 pounds down. And from that moment, no one could take that away from me. So even, you know, next time, and then at Christmas, I remember weighing on Boxing Day, I was 9.5. So from weighing it like mid-October, I think it might have been, to Boxing Day, I've lost like another couple of stone. I was nearly 140 pounds down. Now, I then weighed myself just after Christmas. So, and I kind of went a little, I didn't really have much of a I kept on it until Christmas Day, right? I didn't let loose Christmas Eve or anything like that. Christmas Day was the day I let loose, and I weighed myself. I think I weighed myself in the gym. I think the gym scales went up to like 200 kilos. They've got like in the gym, you know, the ones having boots. Put a quid in one of them and weighed myself. I think I was 9.5 stone down. And when I saw that number, then I did let myself go. Oh, I think my mate might be. I might have to go shortly. I then let myself go. Right, I let myself go, and then I enjoyed like from Boxing Day. Well, I was in the gym Boxing Day probably from the 27th, and I remember New Year's Eve. I got absolutely smashed. I think I weighed myself like a couple of days after New Year's Day, and I'd gained like 10 pounds back. But in my head, I'm like, I'm still 125 pounds down or whatever I was. So I put that buffer in. And that was kind of like every time I always have big weight gain from holidays or from this, that, and the other. And it's putting that buffer in. And sometimes we need that at the start. Sometimes we need that momentum. So if you can get, and most clients that come on board, they end up with the honeymoon period and the momentum's there anyway, because motivation's high, which will always drop a little bit. And they sort of end up with that little buffer. And I think that's what we need to, certainly with like Caroline, she's kind of a bit up and down. And Caroline's just came on plan at a bit of a trickier time, right? But this time of year, it's Jan, Feb, March. We've got to learn to just say no a little bit and just go, no, right, that's it. Yeah, I can meet up. I can be social. I can say hello for a couple of hours. That's absolutely fine. But I need to really, you know, how important is my journey to me? You know, and sometimes we need to do that. So when you're losing weight at the start, did you do it on your own? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Just on my own. I kind of went into it a bit bull at a gate, but I did dry January, and from doing dry January, this is when I planned how I was going to lose weight, and I'd thought about it, and I am a logical thinker, and I'd always followed diets and fad diets and this, that, and the other. And I said, right, this is something I said to myself in January. And it's probably the biggest thing that I could have said to myself. And it's probably the biggest thing that I said to myself in January 2014 was, however you've tried to lose weight in the past, we're stepping away from that. Right. And I don't know why I said it to myself. I think I was so determined this time because of the situation I put myself in. That's what I said to myself. So there was no fad diets. And then I started to think a bit deeper about it and things where, you know, I've said the story about, you know, and I was going to go into it, you know, not going to have a takeaway, not going to eat chocolate. And the night before I started, I'd sort of gone to the Chinese. I was having the Last Supper like loads of people do. And again, I'm like, you said you're never going to lose weight the way you've lost weight before. Yet you sat in the Chinese with 30 quid's worth of Chinese. And this is what clicked. I'm in the Chinese. It's busy. most of the people in there haven't got a weight issue, yet they're eating Chinese. So how can they have a weight? How can they enjoy Chinese and not be 37 stone? And again, there's just little things that happened. And there was a family in front of me, mum, dad, 2 kids. The kids were only like probably 10 and 6 or something like that. And they sort of come up, Jackson, this family, I can't remember the name. They're like, yeah. And yeah, Jackson, I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, and they brought out their order and they're like, yeah, that'll be £29.80 or whatever. Remember, this is 2014, right? Things were a bit cheaper then. And then I was straight after him. Neil, yeah, I am, mate. That'd be £32.50. Now, I had bought a king prawn chow mein for my mum and some prawn toast. The rest was mine. And I'm basically like, I've ordered enough food for me that family of 4 have ordered for them. And and just little things clicked over in my head. And I'm like, this is why you're fat, right? Stop ordering Chinese for 4 people for 1 person. Why don't you order Chinese for 1 person for 1 person? And the next week I had a Chinese. I just ordered a main course and rice. I think it's a big portion. You know, I look at it now and I'm like, that's still a lot of food, right? And I did, and so just little things like that. But that was the biggest thing that I said to myself was, however you're going to lose weight this time around, you're not doing Slimming World, you're not doing shakes, you're not doing extremes. You're going to just, let's have instead of having 4 takeaways a week. Well, I don't know what you class as a takeaway. Let's just couple eating out. I probably used to eat out I used to probably eat 10 times where I didn't actually make food in my kitchen a week, right? And that's from your Mackey's breakfast to your butty vans or your butty shops to your chippy teas to your kebabs to like 10 times. So if you have 30, if you eat 3 times a day, it's 21 meals in the week. At least 50% I was eating out. Like I was pulling over and getting like a butty and a pie and some chocolate and crisps and a can for my lunch. I was getting Chinese one night for my tea, pizza another night, fish and chips another night. Have you tried Slimming before then? Yeah. And that's what, some woman said, oh, well, all these creators make me laugh having to go at Slimming World. And I said, oh, do they, love? Because I did it for about a month. I only did it for a month. I went to one meeting and I didn't like it. And I'll tell you why I didn't like it. And this is no disrespect to the people that were in that meeting, but I was morbidly obese and no one else was. Right? I mean that sincerely. Like I was morbidly obese and there were probably a couple of people that were overweight, but there were so many people in there that were probably 10 stone and it made me uncomfortable. And don't get me wrong, if you're 10 stone and you feel you need to lose some weight, fine. But I'm there like, I felt like not an intruder, but I'm like, I can't sit here with flipping Chantel complaining about being 10 stone when I'm sitting here 37 stone, struggling to move. Plumber's definitely now. We have to go shortly. So I did Slimming World, did the shake diets. I didn't do Weight Watchers. Lost them. And then I tried Slimming World again, but I didn't go to any of the meetings. So I probably did it for about a month, didn't like it, and then I probably tried it again a second time, Drop your message on Facebook. Yes, Scott, cheers, mate. I will get in touch with you. Things are a bit mental at the moment, but when things die down, I'm definitely interested. I like doing stuff like that, and I'm always happy to give a little bit back, This weekend, I'm going to a fancy sourdough bakery with a friend, a nice treat, but it is possible to enjoy. Of course it is. Absolutely it is, So I did everything. I just said I'm not going to do it again. And over the course of probably about a month, I put into place, and it just kind of fell into place. So I started off, right, I'm going to look at calories. Never looked at calories before. You need to do, I've done podcasts on this in the past, but I might do an updated one. But I've never looked at calories before. I've been told to go on a calorie control diet, but never actually looked at calories. So I was like, right, let's try calories. And I didn't really count them. What I did was, I was like, how many calories should I eat? There weren't online calorie calculators. I know if there were, I didn't know what they were. So nutritional label. because I used to start reading nutritional labels and looking at calorie stuff. And it said the average male should have between 2,000 and 2,500 calories a day. Now, to be politically correct, it just says adult. It used to say female and male, right? And a male was 2,000 to 2,500 calories a day. And I'm not the average male, so I would just ate 2,500 calories a day. It just so happened it worked. Right? Look at draw. I wasn't overly restricted on it. Right? So I ate 2,500 calories a day. So I did pluck the number out of thin air. But I'm looking back, I was probably burning 5,000 calories a day. Big calorie deficit. But when you're 37 stone, you can go into a big calorie deficit. And then from that moment of being in the Chinese, it was like, right, I'm going to have Chinese once a week. And for the first couple of weeks, any treats that I fancy, because I said, I'm going to have a couple of treat nights, like, you know, I'll build into my 2,500. I found it quite tough. So I said, right, let's do 2,500 calories every day, but your treat nights, give yourself a bit more flexibility. And that's kind of the first time I started really kind of banking calories as it, or having lower calorie days and a couple of higher calorie days. When I started tracking calories, that then developed into like 5 low, 2 high. You can track, you can bank. At the time, I didn't do that. One thing I did do was stick to a calorie structure, and I still stick to that now after 12 years. So I've got my 2,500 calories a day, and I'm going to have 400 to 500 for breakfast, 500 to 600 for lunch, 600 to 800 for my tea, right? And if you go top end of that, which I tended to, 5, 6, 8, right? You're at what? 5, 6, 8, 11. You're at 1,900 calories, and then I'd have 250 for snacks, 250 for evenings, and a bit more. And sometimes my tea would be at 850, but just this structure that roughly. So I didn't count calories for a couple of years, right? But whatever I had for breakfast, whether it was an omelette, whether it was porridge, whether it was some yogurt or whatever it was, I used to alternate between porridge and omelette. I used to do carbs one day, no carbs the other day. I don't go wrong, I fell into some really bad traps, right? So I actually didn't know porridge was carbs, to be honest with you. I didn't. I've said this before on lives. I actually thought I was no carbing. I didn't realize grain. So I ate rice, I ate oats, I ate fruit, and I ate veggies, right? And I was like, yeah, I'm no carbing, because I just thought, like a lot of people, carbs is bread and pasta, right? Bread, pasta, cakes, biscuits, cookies. And I didn't really eat bread or pasta or anything for the first 12 months of my weight loss journey. I didn't eat potatoes. It's like, no carbing. I feel stupid now because I was eating rice, I was eating porridge, I was eating, and I'm glad I did, because if I'd gone no carbs, I would have over restricted and crashed and burned. So lucky, really, I didn't know what I was talking about at the time. Right? So yeah, and then everything just sort of fell into place, and I tweaked and adapted as I went along, and you know, first time I was, you know, and I went really hard at it for like 3, 4, 5 months, and then I was faced with going on my first holiday, and I was going to France to see my best mate. He'd moved there 3 years earlier, and I wasn't fit and healthy enough to go. And I was like, I wasn't 100% then, but I was like, no, I'm going to go. I really miss him. I need to go and see him. So I thought, go on, push yourself. And I did. It gave me the confidence. The weight I'd lost just in 4 or 5 months. And that's when I really was like, what do I do? Do I still track? Do I stick to my calorie structure? John loves a beer. I know I'm going to end up, I've not been drunk for 4 or 5 months, you know. And I went over there, and he was chuffed that I'd lost a bit of weight. And I sort of, you know, we went out for tea. I did make some better choices. If I had a pizza, I only ate half of it. Shouldn't have done, should have eaten the whole bit. I ate half of it. We went out for beers. I took it fairly steady. Had one night where I got a bit drunk, but, you know, it is what it is. And I enjoyed my holiday. I didn't know I'd gained weight because I couldn't weigh myself. So I just come back and just got straight back on plan. And things like that. So yeah, and things just fell into place. But the basic principles that I use now still, that I coach my clients with, is what I sort of taught myself over the first couple of months, 2, 3 months of my journey. Right, guys, I'm gonna have to go. Dog's going absolute mental. She's doing my head in. She's probably doing yours in. I tried looking for your podcast on the app, but couldn't find you. My podcast is on every platform, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, it's everywhere. The link to all links to my podcast is in my Instagram. So if you go into my Instagram profile, click on links,
it'll say like podcast, I think, all platforms. Should be. And it's in my link tree as well. If you go into my link tree on Instagram and scan down, it literally says podcast all platforms on my link tree. Just click on that, and then you click on what you want: Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify. It's all on there. It's all on there. Like I say, I sort of did an introduction to the Real Lost Boss. But I might do one that's like, how did I come up with the way how did I come up with my plan, basically. And it is my plan. It is based on things I did from 2014. Really is, So yeah, I'll do that next week. I'll try and do. I've got a couple of podcast ideas, so I'll try and get on with them a little bit. Right, guys, I've got to go. Go and shut the dog up, and I'm going to see my mate. Guys, it's been a pleasure as always. The live today, guys, if you're on Planning the Community, the live at 4, I've got to cancel it. My life's just something's got to give. So there's no extra live today, but I will be back tonight, 7:30 till 8:30. We'll do a live this evening, just TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. There's no lives now on Fridays. I'm knocking them on the head. It's manic check-in day. I just need to concentrate on check-ins. I've took quite a few new clients on recently. Saturday morning, though, I might be on live again Saturday morning. Rachel came with me last week and went and trained while I was doing a live, and then went for a shower, and then went in the coffee shop at the gym and read a book, and she really enjoyed it. So she said I might do that again this Saturday. So again, be a bit of an impromptu one, but again, if you're on plan or in the community, I will. What will I do? I'll broadcast it out, right? I'll broadcast it out and let you know that I am that I'm live. All right. And so I might see. I'll see you tonight, 7:30, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and then I'll be back. Right, Facebook, YouTube. I'm going to sign off to you first. See you later. I'll see you tonight, 7:30 if you're free, and then I'll be back. Facebook, YouTube. After that, we'll be.